What if I told you that for thousands of years, humans have believed the future wants to be known? And I don't mean predicted or controlled, but revealed through symbols, patterns, reflections, and intuition. From the steps of ancient temples to your morning cup of coffee. Divination has been less about magic tricks and more about learning a language that most humans forgot they knew. Today, we're diving into that language. Welcome back to Ancient Wisdom Wednesdays. This is the Raimundo Show where we usually talk about tarot, and today we're talking about all kinds of divination, from ancient times to the modern day. Divination is the process of seeking insight about the future, the present, and hidden truths about the past through symbolic systems. And here's a twist. Across cultures, across times, across continents, humans have kept inventing different ways to divinate. But they were all trying to do the same thing. Make meaning out of randomness. Or what looks like randomness. Ancient people didn't see chaos the same way that we do today. They looked at long-term patterns and saw omens and messages in everyday things in order to predict the future. A bird flying left instead of right, that meant something. The way smoke curled during a ritual, that meant something. The shape of oil in water, that means something. Divination is built on one core belief, that the universe is always speaking. The question is, can you interpret it? Let's start with one of the most popular systems of divination today, tarot. Contrary to popular belief, tarot didn't begin as a mystical tool. It actually started as a card game in the 15th century. But over time, people began noticing something strange. The imagery, the fool, death, the tower, the star. They weren't just pictures. They were archetypes. And Ancient Wisdom Wednesdays is all about archetypes, which are universal human experiences that tell us about our psychology and spirituality. I get money, I'm a star. Later thinkers, like everyone's favorite philosopher and psychologist Carl Jung, would call these archetypes part of the collective unconscious, patterns that live inside all of us. So when you pull a tarot card, you're not just predicting the future, you're activating a mirror. A tarot reading works because your mind recognizes itself in the symbols. Tarot is not fortune telling. It's more like a conversation between your conscious mind and something deeper. Now let's get cozy and kiki for a sec. Tea leaf reading, also called tasseography, is one of the most intimate forms of divination. You drink your tea, you swirl the cup, you flip it over, and what's left behind becomes your message. And when you look at the shapes, they form messages, animals, paths, letters, faces. This practice was especially popular in Victorian England, but this tradition has been practiced all over the world and is used with coffee in some Middle Eastern and Turkish traditions. There's even a class about it at Hogwarts.
In this room, you shall discover if you possess the sight.
And what's fascinating about tea reading is that there's no fixed rule book. It's all about your own interpretation. The projective psychological test called the Rorschach test, popularized by Swiss psychologist Hermann Rorschach, who was kind of hot, who I kind of wish was my therapist, can be seen as a form of tasseography, although inkblot tests have been used as a form of psychoanalysis since at least the Renaissance, as Leonardo da Vinci and Botticelli are both noted for having used this method of study. Either way, tasseography is based on the concept that your brain is wired to find meaning in shapes, a phenomenon called pareidolia. It's the reason why you sometimes see faces and animals in the clouds. Divination just takes that natural instinct and turns it into a tool. Now we step into something a little more woo-woo and cinematic. Scrying is the practice of gazing into a reflective surface or a translucent object, like water, mirrors, obsidian, or the iconic crystal ball in order to receive visions or psychic impressions. But unlike tea reading, scrying is more about falling into a trance-like state. When you stare into something like a crystal ball long enough, your brain switches into a different mode. Your analytical left brain quiets down, and your intuitive right brain ramps up. Historic psychics like John Dee, an advisor to Queen Elizabeth I, used scrying as a serious tool for guidance and communication with the divine. And it made them some serious dough. So is the crystal ball itself showing you something significant? Or are you finally just seeing what was already there? Let's address this big question. Why does any of this even work? Skeptics will say it's a coincidence, a projection even, a confirmation bias. And honestly, they're not entirely wrong. But that's not the whole story. Divination works because it slows down the mind and even changes neural pathways. It focuses your attention off of real life and into the subconscious. And it gives your intuition a structure to speak through. Think about it. How often do you actually stop and ask yourself a question? I mean, like not scrolling or distracted, just present. Divination creates that moment for intuitive guidance to arise. And once you're there, your mind starts connecting the dots that it couldn't see before. It's less about cards and leaves and crystals. And it's more about the state of consciousness that divination creates. Divination might be one of humanity's oldest technologies. Not a science in the modern sense, but nonetheless a system devised to interface with the unknown. Before science, before data, before algorithms, before ChatGPT, all we had was ritual, symbols, and intuition. And honestly, we never stopped using that. We just renamed them. Gut instinct, pattern recognition, creative insight. These are all the same mechanism, just different branding. So whether you're pulling tarot cards, reading the bottom of your coffee cup, or just staring into your own reflection, divination isn't about escaping reality. It's about engaging with reality more deeply. Because maybe the future isn't something you find. Maybe it's something you learn how to see. As always, thank you for watching The Raymundo Show. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and follow me for more content. I've even got some new divination tools coming at you in the next video. Thank you, peace and love.